Hi everyone, my name is Adrian Kelly. I am the co-founder and director of instruction here at SLICGOLF. In today's video, we're going to talk about stack and tilt, how it's helped my game, how it's helped a lot of my students' game, and maybe most importantly, how it's helped my back. Before we do that, do the silly YouTube thing. You have to like, subscribe, the stupid bell, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They say you have to say it, so I said it. There, it's done. We can just move on. So, stack and tilt, what is it? A lot of people think they know what stack and tilt is. They really don't. So what stack and tilt really is it's a system. And by a system, I mean it's a way to organize all of the different positions in a golf swing. It's basically a what beats what, like in poker, right? So in stack and tilt, when you actually take a training, you understand the whole system. Every little piece does something, right? So if I move my head back a certain amount, that does something. If I move it forward a certain amount, that does something too. If I have the face here, if I add wrist hinge at position 2 or have butt shaft parallel to the ground, that does something. If I flex the wrist, that does something else. So it's a way to organize data. Now, I think where the controversy comes from is in the models, right? The stack and tilt baseline model. A lot of people have an issue with it. They say, well, it's unathletic. It takes away the artist from the player, all of the blah, blah, blah things. Okay. When you're working with models, and I use the S at the end of that, that's there on purpose. There are several ways to operate within the stack and tilt framework that aren't necessarily the baseline model, right? All good players eventually get their weight forward at the bottom. That was the most controversial thing that stack and tilt said, is like, well, if they're getting the weight forward at impact, why don't you just start there and stay there? Some people don't like that. Not every stack and tilt person does it that way. There are plenty of stack and tilt players who will start 50-50, stay 50-50, and then drive to like 90-10 at impact. There's other stack and tilt players I've seen where they look like they're a little, maybe even 55-45 back or something. Now that creates some issues, and this is what I want to talk about. Like that issue, that alone right there is part of why my back started to hurt when I played golf, and I didn't realize it until I got on camera and started really looking at it with a really critical eye. One of the things that was really hurting me is when I would go back, I didn't necessarily sway my head. I've never been doing that. But I did have my hips kick back a little bit. And that little bit of tightness here turned into some lower back issues. And it was kind of a chronic thing. And anybody who knows me in this section knows I've had back issues. Granted, I have 10 children. Crawling over car seats, lifting up a toddler who doesn't want to get out of a car seat also creates back issues. I'm going to put that to the side, whatever. But golf was definitely aggravating it. So one of the things that I did is I really went, I would say, full stack and tilt. So what does that mean? In the baseline model with stack and tilt, we prescribe more weight forward than backward. We'll call it 60%, depending how you feel. And then when I go back, I'm trying to make sure there's no shift, staying very centered. And what's happening here is I'm going back. In order to stay centered, I actually have to do 3 things. So the obvious one is turning. I have to turn my shoulders. If I only turn my shoulders and I don't extend my spine or tilt my shoulders to the left, I'll look like this. Problem. My head moved way back. I'm going to bottom out back here unless I make some superhero move in the downswing to try to save it. It's also hard on the back. So I'm going to turn. I'm also going to extend. Now, when you do that separately, it looks ridiculous. But when I do it together, this doesn't look too bad. Now, there's one thing that's starting to happen. You may notice my head is way up here. So how do we counteract that? Tilt. That's the tilt and stack and tilt. Stack my weight forward, tilt my shoulders to the left, away from the turn as I extend. And that's a very centered pivot. Head doesn't move, my hips don't sway, and it's very, very easy on the spine because as I'm going back, I'm extending all of my vertebrae up to the top. When you do that, the spine starts to do this. I have some room in here in between my vertebrae so I can do this and they don't grind on each other. When I turn in flexion, like this, now my vertebrae is doing that, and now I'm starting to rub into itself, which is what was happening here in my lower back. In fact, what was really, I was doing this, and I was kind of shifting my hips back, and that little extra extension here, well, now I'm overextended in my lower back, trying to keep my head still because my hips are moving back. Now I'm going the other way, grinding on this side. So for me to stay healthy, I set my weight forward, I extend, turn, and tilt. I have no issue. I can have a conversation with somebody making the top of the backswing. It's a good litmus test for you. If your swing is so healthy, you should be able to simulate it, hold any position, and have a conversation with somebody. If you're at the top, what'd you say? I can't. That probably not a great way for you to be playing golf. So now I'll hit some shots. I'm going to set my weight forward, turn, tilt, and extend. Could do it all day. Now, Andy Plummer, one of the founders of Stack and Tilt, would see that shot, that cross left, be very upset with me. He wouldn't like that. We're going to fix that. But the thing that's nice about that is I've really only been warming up for, I think I took like 5 minutes, 7 minutes to kind of warm up, get kind of loose. Back feels fine. Weight forward, stay forward, turn, tilt, and extend. Uh-oh, Andy, I'm hitting it left. DM me, Andy. They're going left. I'm not really upset about that shot. It's whatever. How many yards off on 7.8? Whatever. We'll do it again. I'm hitting the ball solid. They all draw. Turn, tilt, extend, weight forward. Frankly, I feel like I could do it all day. We'll do it one more. So if you're struggling with back issues when you play, if you have a hard time back-to-back days playing golf, or even just 18 holes, it's tough on your back, do this. Weight all the way forward. Keep the weight on the front foot. Extend the spine so you can stay centered. Hit it. Oh, it's close. That's not everything that's in Stack and Tilt. That's just the most controversial part. There are people who have issues with all sorts of parts about it. Separate video for a separate time. But if you have back issues, that's one of the things that I would say is critical for you. And one thing to maybe notice if you pay really close attention to the tour, most of the Stack and Tilters now are on the senior tour. They're doing really well out there. Wonder why that is. Just something to think about. If you have any questions about Stack and Tilt, or questions about this video or anything, leave me a comment down below. Send me a message on Instagram. All my contact info is in the bio. I'll see you at the next video.